Hello Aquarius and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius, let's jump on in. We're going to start with looking at overall energy through oracle cards, and we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot. But first, I want to see what it is you guys have been dealing with. So let's look at your recent past, Aquarius, at what situation you've been dealing with that you're needing to know the most about right now. Maybe that you're seeking guidance on. Past energy for Aquarius, please. I love this deck so much, but it is so massive and so hard to pull cards sometimes. Okay, universal flow with self-sabotage. Interesting. Something in your life, maybe it's a relationship, a job, a pattern, a habit, an addiction, I don't know, is blocking your flow of abundance. And I don't necessarily think, and this is recent past, but typically it kind of carries over, this kind of sets the tone for what we're going to be talking about in this reading. And I'm not saying that you're doing this intentionally, and I'm not saying you don't have your reasons, but I do feel that there's a lot of untapped potential in this energy. I feel like Spirit is trying to lead you to the things that you desire: freedom, abundance, success. But, self-sabotage can come in so many different forms. It can look like settling or accepting less than what we deserve, or, not standing up for ourselves or our needs, and not setting boundaries, and not going after the things that we deserve and desire. It's not always so clear what it is, but I do feel like, because this universal flows card is to me all about letting your life move in the direction of your highest good, and kind of almost being willing to get out of the way of that flow. But sometimes our control gets in the way, and we think, things have to be a certain way, and we have to do certain things just to survive. And that survival mode actually keeps us from whatever it is that we are trying to create, the safety we're trying to create, the abundance we're trying to create. But survival mode is natural and normal, and no one can blame you for that. But I do feel as if Spirit's trying to help you break out of that a little bit, to take you to better things, to things that are more aligned and have more potential for happiness and abundance and freedom and all the things. All right, current energy for Aquarius. Karma. You deserve more than your current reality reflects. Support team and rejoicing with new door. Okay. So here's the thing, and this goes back to what I was saying at the very beginning. I feel like there are certain things standing in your way, but these things are survival mechanisms. They're patterns or situations that you're clinging to, literally just to get by, to keep your head above water. So again, nobody can blame you for that. But if we want things to change in our life, we have to take full responsibility for what is in our power and in our control. And I feel like right now is really a time to do that. Breaking out of survival mode, one of the biggest aspects of that is recognizing that you do not deserve just to survive. You're not here just to survive. You're not here just to get by. You're here to learn and grow and face challenges and evolve past those, sure. But you're not here just to survive. You're also here to thrive, to experience joy and abundance in all forms. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking love and peace and freedom and connection and all of the things that you might feel like you're lacking right now. But I do feel like in order to step into, in order to create these things, you are needing to step into the embodiment of I am worthy and deserving of more. Like that's what you're being asked to do right now. And I think that it's not a mindset thing. You might know you're worthy and deserving of more, and that's why you're frustrated. It's more so an embodiment thing, an action thing. Our life is a reflection of how we show up for it. And if we show up for our life believing I can't have the things that I want, I'm not deserving of more, I'm not capable of more, we're going to attract that. And we do that a lot because of survival mode. If we've been taught we have to, struggle just to get by, just to survive, that's going to be the reality that you create. But this does feel like a reading that is all about breaking out of survival mode and creating a life that is one that you don't just have to survive, but you can truly enjoy and find peace and freedom in. And maybe you're on your way to that. There's just a need to, step even further into that embodiment and into that role. What does Aquarius need to know moving forward? Maybe. Does Aquarius need to know regarding their immediate future? Angel numbers. Limiting beliefs. This situation recalls for reprogramming your belief system. Your limiting beliefs are holding you back, and it's particularly limiting beliefs about what you're capable of experiencing in this lifetime. Because what we don't realize is sometimes we hold ourselves back, not intentionally, but because our life has taught us to believe that we have to, that we can't go after the things that we deserve and desire, that we do just have to settle, that we do just have to take what we can get. And I feel like this is Spirit's way of really bringing forward this message of saying, in order for you to create a life that truly aligns with what you deserve, you have to break out of the belief that what you've been experiencing is as good as it can get for you. And I know that is hard, and I know that is difficult, especially when you've struggled for a while. But the biggest thing that is holding you back right now is your beliefs around what is possible for you, what you are capable of receiving, of achieving, of having. If you break down the law of attraction, the universal law of attraction, which is the law that backs the concept of manifestation, it looks like your thoughts become your beliefs, become your actions, become your reality. What you think about over and over again, I can't get there, I can't do it, I'm not enough, it's not possible for me, I'm always failing, I can't have the things that I want. That becomes a part of what you believe. That belief system, it carries your actions. So the actions that you take are going to reflect the beliefs that you carry. And if you carry beliefs that you're not capable, or that it's not possible for you, or that you're not supported by the universe, your actions are going to reflect that. And therefore your reality is going to be a reflection of that, which is going to deepen those beliefs, which is going to deepen the actions taken in limited beliefs. So we have to stop that spiral. We have to take action, not from a place of what we're used to doing, but from a place of doing something new and something different. And a lot of times what that looks like is opening up to possibilities that are maybe a little bit different than what it is that we're used to. And I feel like right now, the reason that you're blocking your flow in particular is because there are certain things that you're holding on to. And a lot of what that might be is habits, patterns, and addictions, right? Habits and relationships, patterns and relationships, addictions and of any sort. And I feel like those things are your way of proving to yourself that the ways that you think that you're not worthy, deserving, capable, or that it's not possible for you are true. And we all do this, okay? This just happens to be coming through in an Aquarius reading. But I do really feel like Spirit's trying to open new doors for you, but it feels like there are certain patterns that you carry that are blocking those new doors. And it all comes back to what you hold as a belief when it comes to like what's possible for you. Overall theme of this reading for Aquarius, please. Does Aquarius need to know in order to move forward in alignment with their higher self? If nothing will come of this situation, don't let pride get in your way. This nothing will come of this situation is the energy to me of like nothing ever changes if nothing ever changes. Like if our habits don't change, if our patterns don't change, if our decisions don't change, if our beliefs don't change, if our thoughts don't change, like nothing is going to change. And I feel like you're feeling really stuck right now, and I can understand that for sure, especially again, if you've been in survival mode, right? But this is not so much waiting on things to change as it is looking at what you're needing to change. And it's not coming from a place of saying that you've been doing anything wrong. I feel like you've just been doing or not doing certain things that would open up doors for you, that the action is what creates the opportunity. So it's like, maybe you're waiting on certain opportunities or waiting on abundance or whatever it is. It's like there's a need to embody the I am worthy, I am deserving, I am capable in order to do that. However, your ego doesn't want you to. Your ego wants you to stay in the lack that you're used to stay in the struggle and the survival mode, because not because your ego wants what's bad for you. Your ego is not your enemy, but its primary goal is survival. It does what it needs to do to keep you alive. Therefore, it wants you to stay in places that you are used to. And if all you're used to is survival, your ego is going to fight tooth and nail to keep you in survival, to keep you from doing different things, from making different decisions, from putting yourself out there or getting rid of unhealthy habits or leaving toxic relationships or whatever it is, because your ego knows how to survive in those environments. But if you want your environment to change, you have to change what you believe is necessary in order to, to survive. Because like, I think a lot of times when we think like it's either survive or thrive, it's like I either have the money that I need, or and I'm working a job that I hate, or I don't have the money that I need and I'm doing what I love. Or it's like I'm either settling for love that doesn't align with what I truly deserve, or I'm alone forever. It's like there's this belief that you have to struggle, that you have to survive, and if you aren't doing that, then you're not going to have what you need. But that belief within itself is the biggest thing that is keeping you stuck in not having what you deserve. I hope this is making sense. And I hope that's not, you understand, I'm not coming from a place of blame at all. There are so many things that are outside of your control, and I'm sure that the way that you act and the behaviors and the patterns that you have, those are probably what you learn to do to survive. So of course, it's not your fault that the things that you've been through have led you to certain patterns, habits, or cycles, but it's about being willing to take control of your life by saying these things are no longer going to define me. Because you're not what's happened to you. You are not your past. You are not what you've experienced to this point. You are, and your life is capable of becoming what it is that you choose, what you want it to be. What does Aquarius need to know about this past energy? Self-sabotage with universal flow. Hierophant in reverse. There's a need for a this is so interesting. There's a need for a different perspective. So Hierophant, Tower in reverse, Wheel of Fortune, then you have Lovers in reverse with the Five of Wands, and then here you, Queen of Swords. There's this, it's like, there's this energy of accepting less than what you deserve, but doing it, again, from a place of obligation, from a place of survival. And Spirit's trying to turn the wheel in your favor. That's what this universal flow is. So what that might look like is pulling you out of certain situations, or reaching dead ends in certain relationships or jobs, not to necessarily keep you from the things that you want, but to move you in a direction that aligns more with what you truly deserve. That, because if you're trying to, settle for a relationship that doesn't serve you, and that relationship ends up not working out, that's not the universe taking away the love that you deserve. That's the universe saying the love that you deserve does not exist in this space. Same kind of thing for a job or a path in general. So I feel like Spirit's trying to move things in the direction of your favor, but there is so much resistance coming from you here. And I don't necessarily even know if you recognize that you're doing that. Maybe it's resistance with thoughts, maybe it's resistance with beliefs or habits or patterns or whatever. But there's this energy of keeping yourself in spaces that don't align with what you deserve. And again, you probably have logical reasons as to why, but then waiting on things to change. And then when things don't change, getting frustrated and saying, this means that I can't have the things that I deserve and desire. And Spirit saying, no, you absolutely can, but you have to be willing to show up and embody the belief of I am worthy, I am deserving, whatever that might look like. Standing up for your needs, being honest about what you desire, setting your boundaries, walking away if necessary. Like all of these things are necessary steps in order for you to create better. Otherwise, things are going to continue to stay the same. And I think that, again, like when we're stuck in survival mode, because we've all been in survival mode before we, break out of survival mode, everyone's been in survival mode. So I get it. What it's like to be so stuck in this belief of like, well, this is how things have to be. And if I don't want to be alone, I have to settle. And if I want to have money, then I got to be miserable. And if I want, this, I have to sacrifice these things. That is what your life has taught you, but that is not what has to be true. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that is coming through in this reading, especially when it comes to what you've been through to this point, because Spirit's saying you got to change your perspective around what you believe is necessary. If you think you have to settle in order to have love, like you are going to settle. If you believe that you have to suffer in order to have money, you're going to suffer because you're going to believe that these things are necessary because that's what your life has taught you to this point, and therefore that's what your life is going to look like and be. But in order to create different, we have to face the fear associated with doing things different that kind of challenges the ego. The ego's tendency to go, anything different is bad. So what does Aquarius need to know about their current energy? Because this is what you've been dealing with. Because, there are certain decisions that are being avoided. Or changes. But whatever these changes are, they would lead you to really good things. Because, the Chariot in reverse, it's like you find yourself feeling really stuck, just not moving forward, not making progress. Your life feels like it's not progressing. And I completely understand that. But here's the thing. Your circumstances as they are right now do not have to be your circumstances for forever. But your past thoughts, beliefs, and actions created your current circumstances, right? Therefore, your current thoughts, beliefs, and actions are actively creating your future circumstances. So if you look at the things that you've been thinking and the beliefs that you hold and the actions that you take from those beliefs, and you're saying, I don't like where that's led me, that's where your power and your control is to do things differently, to show up differently, to double down on the I am deserving and I am worthy of the things that I desire. And I'm not saying you're not trying. I do feel like you are trying really hard, but I don't think you need to try harder. I think you need to trust more. The universe isn't saying do more, you're not enough, you're not doing enough. It's the universe saying you're not trusting enough. You're not trusting yourself. You're not trusting that the Spirit has your back, and you probably have your reasons for that, right? But that, if inherently, if you aren't trusting that you're worthy, deserving, capable, and supported and all of those things, then you are actively blocking that abundant flow, because in order to manifest the things that we want, it's a co-creation relationship. We have to have that trust that the universe has our back, and we have to have trust in ourselves to take the right steps that align with us. And if you don't trust yourself to do that, and you don't trust the universe to have your back, then that relationship isn't going to be there. So the universe is here to support you, but it's asking for your belief in that support. And a lot of what that looks like is embodying the support before it comes. One of my favorite quotes is by Joseph Campbell. It says, take one step toward the gods and they will take 10 toward you. A lot of people wait for proof that the universe has their back, but the universe doesn't have your back out of the blue. The universe responds to the energy that you show up in. So if you show up in the energy of, I am unworthy, I am undeserving, and I am not capable, or whatever the case might be, the universe is going to match that. But if you show up with, I am worthy, I am deserving, I am capable, I'm going to, take these steps and take this leap and make this change and set this boundary, the universe is going to meet you there. The outcome might not always be exactly what you expect or want, but it's going to align with your highest good and lead you to exactly what's meant for you. So for instance, if you set a boundary in a relationship and that person doesn't respect that boundary, that's a sign from the universe that says that person isn't, meant for you or isn't capable of being what it is that you deserve and desire, which means there's better people out there for you. But if we approach from a lack mentality, if somebody doesn't respect our boundaries, we're going to take that as proof. We're going to say, this is proof that I can't have anything better, therefore I need to accept what I can get. And then that's going to lead you to having less than what you deserve. So now is a time to trust that like your circumstances are always temporary. They're always changing, and they're changing based on the energy that you are currently embodying. What does Aquarius need to know moving forward? Three of Wands. This is no more waiting. This is taking the steps out of your comfort zone. This is moving in the direction of your highest good. This is the confidence to do that. The willingness to walk away from things that aren't serving you. The willingness to take a risk on yourself, to start that business, to do the thing that scares you but brings you a lot of excitement. Like, that's what this future energy is about. It's no longer waiting on your life to change and to get better, because if we wait on our life to change, we will be waiting forever. If we wait on things to happen and things to change and things to shift, we will be waiting forever. But if we embody things are shifting and I am showing up for me so that they will shift, we can trust that the universe is going to meet us there. So this future energy is really powerful because it's all about confidence, but it's not this confidence that doesn't come with fear. There is fear, there is insecurity, there is anxiety, that things aren't going to work out. That doesn't go away. Fear, doubt, insecurity, all those things are always going to exist. You just don't have to believe them. You can choose to go. What happened for me is I actually started getting pissed off in my life. Things kept happening, relationships kept ending, I kept doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, and I started getting pissed off. And I said, I am so done with this. I'm done with these habits, I'm done with these patterns, I'm done with these cycles, and I'm done with these people. I'm going to do things differently. If this isn't working out, then I'm going to try this. If I keep finding dead ends in career, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to do what aligns with my soul. Like, I think sometimes we have to get so tired of the way that things are to say, now I'm going to show up differently. Now I'm going to make that change. Now I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to take that leap. I'm going to believe the universe has my back and is going to meet me there. Because that's what creates the things that we deserve and desire. And when we hit dead ends and when things don't work out, like if you're looking for a job in a certain field and you don't find it, maybe that's the universe saying this isn't quite right for you. Maybe look in a different area. We have to trust that divine guidance and not believe that every closed door means that there's no path forward. Because if we see a closed door as, no path forward, then we're going to just sit down and we're going to go, that's that. There's nothing better for me, right? And I did that for a lot of years. So trust me. Never any judgment in my readings. I totally understand what that's like and how exhausting it can be. But sometimes it's not about waiting for the right door to appear, but to look behind a lot of doors and go, is this the right path? Is this the right path? Is this the right answer? Instead of doing nothing and waiting for change. Because that's where we start to embody the energy of there is a solution. There is a path that's meant for me. There is an opportunity. There is abundance. I just have to find it, because that is the truth, but it's only going to be the truth to the extent that you embody it to be. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into this, ultimately looking at what advice Spirit has for you in regard to what you are dealing with right now. I've got an advice card to pull at the very end. Thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.